Hello Year 5, I hope you've had a lovely weekend. This is Monday's lesson. It's going to be a bit different this week because this should have been your publishing week, but obviously with how school's having to operate at the minute, we've obviously got your books in school at the minute, haven't we? So we're using it a bit differently, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a SPAG week. So we're going to go through different SPAG features that are required for you to know by the end of Year 5. I think they've improved with the way that your SPAG knowledge has improved with the way that we've been doing SPAG starters recently. So this is a way just to improve it more, and hopefully when we are back in school, or when you come to do your publishing, your writing will have been taken to that next step, and it'll just be a lot better. So what we're going to do it like is we're going to do different pieces of SPAG learning, and then when it comes down to Thursday, we're going to do sort of like a SPAG test. I know it's a pain to do a test at home, but the way we've planned it, it should work really, really nicely. You should be able to fly through it really simply. And yeah, so to me, there should be no issues whatsoever. You should be able to really, really easily go about doing this. And then when we come around to doing that SPAG test on Thursday, you should be experts already. So here we go. So that's just the outline of what we're doing today. Ignore the assessment at the bottom. I want you to have a think about what indicating degrees of possibility mean. What do I mean by that? Pause the video here, play it again once you think you've worked it out, and I will explain what I mean. So off you go. Right, so it means how likely something is to happen, as it says here, look. So it says how likely something is to happen. So what I mean by that is I want you to think about how often or how possible it is to do something, judging by the adverb that we've used. So what is an adverb? What does an adverb do? Which ones of these are adverbs? Pause the video here, see if you can answer that question, see if you can list down the adverbs in your book, and I will come back to it. Okay. Right, an adverb describes how you do a verb, and a verb is a doing verb. So if I said I was running, I might say quickly running instead, mightn't I? Just so you know how I'm doing it. Lazily running, it might mean that I'm not running that quick, I might not be putting a lot of effort into it. So I want you to think about now, pause the video, see if you can find all the adverbs on this list. Off you go. Right, so I'll go through the answers to the adverb question, to which ones are adverbs now. So, should be working. So, busy's one, solidly, hugely, and daily. So, if I say busily, it might mean that I'm busily doing something. I might be working really, really quick. I might not want it distracting. If I say I'm going on my daily walk, I know that I go for a walk every day, don't I? And so on. So, I want you to go through these, tell me which ones are true and which ones are false. Obviously, I've said do it as a class because I wasn't expecting this to be like this, but again, just maybe make it into a diagram, put true on one side and false on the other, and list them all there in your literacy book, and then come back once you've wrote it all down, and I will reveal the answers to you. So, off you go. Pause the video here and just have a go at it, and then play it obviously when you're done. Right, we'll go through the answers quickly. So adverbs are describing words. They are because they describe how you do a verb, don't they? They describe how you might do an action, which again, they're obviously the same as adjectives in that respect, because adjectives are describing verbs, aren't they? They don't always end in ly. A lot of them do, don't get me wrong, but there are some that don't. Most adverbs can be moved to different places in a sentence is true. Not all, but most. There are only 20 adverbs in the English language. Obviously not true. There's hundreds of them. Adverbs change the meaning of verbs or adjectives or other adverbs. They do. If I say they're running slowly, they're obviously not running quick. If I say they're running quickly, it changes the meaning of the word running, doesn't it? And you can have more than one adverb in a sentence. So the fact that you can only have one is false, isn't it? So An adverb in each of these sentences has been circled, but which word are they modifying or changing the meaning of? So, remember, adverbs can modify other adverbs, verbs, and adjectives. So, read the sentence slowly. Read the sentence slowly. Derek was an amazingly slow driver. He replied incredibly quickly. All entries will be carefully considered. He could possibly be the bravest. So, I want you to think about which word has changed meaning due to the presence, due to an adverb being there. So I'm just going to put my pen on very quickly so you can see. Right. Read the sentence slowly. So I'm being told to read, but I've been told to do it slowly, aren't I? So this is my adverb, and that's the word that I've been told that has changed. I'm not reading it quickly, I'm being told how I'm reading. Derek was an amazingly slow driver. So, which word has changed meaning there? So, slow. That's an adjective, but it's changed because it's amazingly slow. He's not just slow, it's frightening how slow he is. He replied incredibly quickly, which is the same here. Not just quickly, but incredibly quickly. So it's like almost like quicker than quick, isn't it? All entries will be carefully considered. So, considered has changed its meaning. They're not just being considered, they're being carefully considered. He could possibly be the bravest. So, it's rather than saying he is the bravest, it's only possible, isn't it? So it's not certain. That's again what I'm thinking of here, where we're going back to thinking about the degree of possibility. It's not that he is the bravest. It's not definitely he is the bravest. It's just that he could be. So we'll move on very, very quickly. So then again there, that shows you what's changed what. So, did you know some adverbs called sentence adverbs can be used at the beginning of a sentence and modify everything contained in the sentence. They're used by authors to indicate their view on the content of the sentence. Ideally, there would still be lots left by the time we arrive. So it's not certain, and again we're thinking about how possible it is. Clearly, there is a lot that needs improving. That means there's definitely a lot that needs improving, and certainly you should all know what that means. There are many things to be considered. So, here are different adverbs, or groups of similar adverbs in the English language. These are just some of them, if you want to pause the video here and look through them, but I'm just going to quickly move on. So, adverbs of possibility. A group of adverbs that have a specific role in a sentence to indicate how likely something is to happen. So they are as follows. Certainly, definitely, maybe, possibly, surely, clearly, obviously, perhaps, probably, undoubtedly. So, read them to yourself because they'll disappear. Obviously, you can pause them afterwards because this is a video. But I want you to think about how likely they are to happen. How they will affect what the sentence means. So, right. I'll go past that just because I think move on. You're welcome to pause the video here. Tell me whether they're going to be most certain or least certain. So I'll just draw. So I'll give you two examples very, very quickly. This should be printed out for you. If not, I'll make sure it is. So you can label them where they go. So if I say possibly, it's like it might happen. So that's about in the middle. Definitely, if something's definite, it's absolutely going to happen. So it's going to go there. If it's undoubtedly, that's the same. If it's probably going to happen, again, it's going to be in the middle. If it's obvious, again, it's just, you might be able to argue for a distant order. Again, it's just, you might have to use dictionary.com just to find out the meaning of the words and just label them there on that sheet. So, you've got sentences like this. It's asking you to use adverbs of possibility. Which ones are the adverbs of possibility, and using them correctly by completing the sentences. Red and green group, you should have got red and green group. Red and orange group, you should have the 3-star activity. Yellow group, you should have 2, and green group, you'll have 1, but it should be really easy for you to fly through. We'll move past this one just very quickly. So, I want you to look at the word list on the right. Hold up the number that matches the word. So again, this is like what we should be doing in class, but which one should go here? If you write all these sentences out in your books, oh, I'm not sure what's happened there. It's what happens on my board sometimes. If you go through all this and then pick which is the right one to go there and put them in there, label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like they are there, and write them down in your books, I'll be able to check that you've done them right. So if you pause the video here and move on, that's more than fine. Off you go. Right, I look forward to seeing those on Friday when you hand them in. But, like I say, we'll just move through quickly. So you've got another sheet that looks like that, which again is differentiated for you. You'll have the right sheet and go through. Ignore the assessment part because we're not going to be doing that today. But this is really, really easy to do. So, I look forward to seeing these very, very soon. Look after yourself still. Make sure they're all handed in. Make sure it's all done. Again, this shouldn't take you too much time. It's not like what we'd call a normal literature lesson, is it? Where we'd be writing stuff straight down in his books at this point, like I say, publishing. But it's still important to get your skills in SPAG up to as high as they can be. I'll see you all very soon. And look after yourselves. Goodbye.